Shalom, party people, and welcome to the 12th C. So obviously not rucking right now because you can see that the shoulder straps are there. And then the other part of that statement is you can see. So all that good stuff. Just finished a 7-mile run and change and out for a cool down walk. Just some free verse thoughts, more of on my head than anything else. Is for the longest time I was, I can't do a YouTube channel. All I've got's my iPhone, and that's not what I need to do it right. You know, I'd want like a GoPro or, you know, some kind of camera that was a little bit better, and obviously would need some kind of better microphone, some kind of, you know, all high-end equipment. With a little tripod that I got for free and my iPhone, I've been able to at least shoot videos. Now, obviously, I'm not the proudest of the videos that I'm doing. I think they're fine for what they are, but this whole purpose right now is about reps and sets and getting used to being in front of the camera, getting used to talking to the camera, learning how to edit, learning how to shoot, learning how to present myself in a way that is attainable. And you know, it got me thinking back towards, I used to shoot shotguns competitively, and what I found was that there is a certain level of equipment that is necessary to be relatively competitive. I mean, can you use a pump action 870 with a 24-inch barrel? Sure, I guess you could, but there are just going to be certain things that 12 gauge can't do that something like a Beretta 682 over under 30-inch with extra full chokes is capable of doing. You know, so there are some give and takes, but you know, picking up a Beretta 682 over under that is, you know, used maybe 10,000 rounds through it, you can pick that up for a relatively reasonable cost in comparison to a lot of the other equipment that was out there. Because a lot of people would compete with like a Verrazzi or a Guarini, or if they really had deep pockets, like a Krakoff. And like a Guarini is like about 6,000 new and about 4,000 used. And that's money that can be sunk into training, in my opinion. So it was one of those that, hey, we'll pick up the used 682 for $1,200, and with what we would have spent on a Guarini, we can sink that into extra ammo and range time, and that proved to be the way to go, because I was able to compete at the national level with that Beretta. And was it the best? No, but it fit me. It did what I needed it to do, and you know, it was steps above. Now, if I was just gonna compete in like 4-H or whatever, a 870 with a 24 to a 28-inch barrel probably would have been fine, because I'm just not doing that much and was never a really big issue. But going back to the YouTube thing, you know, I've got an iPhone. I carry it with me all the time, and hey, I'm not too good at taking pictures, I'm not too good at taking videos, but let's practice with what I got. And that, you know, made it, okay, this is actually feasible. And, you know, this little tripod that I got for free didn't cost me a cent. So learn how to use this one and then have it help me inform my decisions whenever I am ready to upgrade. You know, I'm considering a higher grade mic so I don't have to use these headphones. And, you know, these headphones are fine. I actually had a couple of friends who were surprised at the quality of audio that was there. And, you know, these headphones were something that I got cheap a long time ago that had a good warranty, and I'm not necessarily, you know, recommending them or telling you not to get them either. They are what they are, but if you're wondering, they're a pair of J-Labs, and I think I paid $35 for them when they were on sale. And I didn't buy them with the intent of doing this, but the microphone was reasonable on them, and I figured it was good enough for what I needed. You know, that transitions a little bit more into the fitness side of things, because that's part of what I do here. And, you know, you don't need a gym. Is it nice to have a gym membership? Sure. I mean, what, Planet Fitness is $10 a month. That's kind of hard to compete with. But once you factor in the drive times to and from the gym, once you factor in having to wait forever on getting the piece of equipment that you want to get, and then just coordinating a lot of other things. I'm not saying it's not doable, because it totally is. And if you're in a routine where you're going at the same times, it tends to be that people will adjust according to you, and the machines you want will be open when you need them. But I have a set of perfect push-ups that I rarely used up until this point. It's like, you know what, use those. I have a kettlebell that's 35 pounds, and I built a pull-up bar a while ago. And could I have built that pull-up bar cheaper? Of course I could have. But this was a couple of years ago. I built a pull-up bar out of a couple of pieces of steel pipe, and I wanted to have like 3 or 4 different grip styles on it. And I also wanted it to be in a situation where it wouldn't go anywhere. So I used 4x6s, I used 2 2x6s together on each side of it, making it effectively 4x6, which I know it's really closer to like 1 3/4. So like, what is that? 3.5 inches by 5 3/4 inches. But anyway, I wanted those sunk into the rafters of my garage, so that way it would never go anywhere. And I used deck screws and reinforced them on both sides of the rafters, and used some heavier gauge steel pipe and fit everything together. And I really wanted to be sure that this thing wasn't going anywhere, to where I could hang on it with a 61-pound rucksack and do pull-ups if I needed to, and not even hear the wood begin to groan. So that was years ago that I put this together, and it became a very viable option. That it was like, hey, this is already here, infrastructure that I already spent, forever ago. And running doesn't cost me anything except for time and replacement of running shoes, the 500 to 1,000 mile increments, which I've been so used to for the last 15 years that's never been a big concern. And I guess where I really want to go with this is doing the best you can with what you have. It shouldn't be a big expense. Eating healthy shouldn't be a big expense. It just comes down to choices. And are you going to make the best choices all the time? No, but if your choices are in a general consistent manner, if they're headed in a right direction, like just watching my sugar intake and trying to make sure that I'm eating plenty of vegetables. I mean, that's a good enough context that is sustainable, that's there. I'm trying to, instead of buying a whole bunch of books for my reading for 75 hard, I'm trying to utilize my library card. That those are taxes that I'm already paying, and without getting into the discussion of not liking paying taxes, it's like it's already going there, so I might as well use it, because then effectively I'm not buying the book 3 or 4 times over. I'm just utilizing the networks that exist within my local libraries that have joined up and are able to get me books from further away. Like even your podunk, rinky-dinky, like 15-book public libraries that exist in small town USA, a lot of them are part of networks, and you can request a book from much further away. So it's just a free, or not free, but basically free resource that's there. That, if you live in any county in America, you can apply for a library card in that county, and it's no big deal. A lot of times you can go to these bigger cities and sign up for their library cards, and pay like a yearly fee that's basically nothing, and have full access to their whole digital catalog and much, much further, which I think is a lot cheaper than signing up for services like Audible. But then all in all, you just have a lot of good options. I think that using your library cards, using the free fitness equipment that's in a lot of parks and going for walks, runs, and then taking a backpack that you already have and throwing weight in it is a good option. Go do hard things.